Chicago Cubs, the top social team in all of Major League Baseball, made a huge imprint on social media thanks to that World Series run. Their quest to repeat begins in 6 days, and Dylan, I'm asking you to fill in the blank. Blank is the most important player on the Cubs' quest to repeat.
That's an interesting one. You could go a lot of different ways, depending on how you think about it. But I'm going to go with Anthony Rizzo. And for me, it's obviously from a production standpoint, he's one of their most important players. He plays every damn day. But this has a lot less to do about how many RBIs he has, even though he's arguably one of their best run producers, and it's going to be important for him to knock in a lot of runs. But it has more to do with the leadership because of the absence of that guy, that other guy, the guy they call Grandpa. Dave Ross, I think, taught Anthony Rizzo a lot about leadership and a lot about the juxtaposition of having fun, keeping it loose, but also keeping the eyes on the prize to really make sure you're not having so much fun that you don't take care of your business. And I think now that torch has been firmly passed to Anthony. He's one of the elder statesmen, although still young, one of the elder statesmen of this team. He lived through the losing. He's seen them get to the top of the mountain and plant that W flag. And now it's on his back to be the leader of this team, to not let up and have a letdown year because they've broken the curse. And Chris Bryant, he's like a metronome. You could just set him. He's just, you know what you're going to get. Rizzo's one of those guys that he can slump at times. He could be the hottest hitter in baseball. I think if he can have a big year on the field, stay healthy and produce, but also really take on that role of leadership firmly, I think it's going to be important for this team to stay where they are and live out that potential, because they have the potential easily to repeat, but they're going to have to keep their eyes on the prize, and that comes to Anthony Rizzo, I think.
You are correct. There are, it seems like, a half dozen, if not more, players that you could realistically make an argument for to fill in this blank. I thought about who's going to replace Dexter Fowler, who was so great at setting the table for guys like Brian Rizzo. Kyle Schwarber fits that bill as a leadoff guy with a high on-base percentage, but they won a lot of games without Schwarber last year, but he did play an important part when he finally got healthy for the World Series. I thought about one of the pitchers, whether it be Jake Arrieta, whether it be Kyle Hendricks, who led the NL and ERA last year. But I'm going to the back end of the bullpen. Got to replace Aroldis Chapman, and even though he was a little shaky in the World Series, you have a guy at the end of games who shuts it down. When you get to the ninth inning with the lead, even though the Cubs have the type of offense that can erase a big ninth inning lead, giving the ball to a guy like Wade Davis, who is arguably more dominant than Aroldis Chapman. You look at his numbers with the Kansas City Royals, he's a better closer if you just look at those numbers. Now, he doesn't throw 105, but 98, 99 will cut it with his nasty stuff. And to have him at the back end of that bullpen, I think, helps the Cubs once again have dominance there. Like Chapman provided, you give them a lead, that offense torches you in the first 5 or 6 innings, you turn the ball over to a guy like Rondon, and then to Wade Davis, you don't have a chance. And I think that's part of what makes the Cubs so dominant, is because you feel like I have to get to one of their good starters for 5 or 6 runs because I know their offense is going to get to our starter, and if we don't, game over because of that bullpen.
And that's the intimidation factor of we're running out of time, And the interesting part, why I love your pick, we don't know if Wade Davis is going to be as dominant as we last saw him. Coming back from injury, it's been a while. He's going to have to shake some rust off and show us he's back to that form. Because if he is that guy from Kansas City, it's lights out. He's probably going to lead the league in saves. But we just don't know. That's why he's a big X factor for the team this year. And if he can perform, they're going to do just fine.